The meditation activities that we've done this term, I've liked them pretty good so far. I think it gives us a chance to just kind of relax, especially when we have such a early morning class, like 7:30. So it's a nice chance when you haven't had a lot of sleep the night before. It gives us like a break, time to breathe, take a deep breath, to relax our minds, to not worry about like how tired we are. It's like kind of just perfect amount of time. Um, so I've definitely been a fan of them. I think my favorite meditation exercise would be the nature walk, just because I love nature and I know I can like feel the relation between the nature and like what it does for you in terms of peace. And then the chocolate meditation was definitely awesome. I was a fan of that. It was interesting to see like or to taste the difference in the chocolate that you don't usually taste when you're just throwing it back and not really worrying about the taste of it. So that was interesting to experience the different flavors, and the facts that you gave during it was pretty interesting. The meditation exercises have affected my attitude in the class a lot because usually when I take morning classes that are so early, I'm not in the greatest mood and I just don't want to be in the class at all, and I don't pay attention, I don't focus, and I'm sure that's true for a lot of college students. So the meditation exercises definitely give me a chance to just kind of clear my mind and like not have anyone talk to me for a good 10, 15 minutes, however long we do it for, so that I can just refocus and kind of just listen better. It helps me with my listening skills for sure. Yeah, like I said, the insights I've had about myself as a result of this would definitely be listening skills, because by giving a chance to meditate, it definitely improves my mind and how much I'm focusing on at the time. So by clearing that, I'm better able to pay attention during class and focus on like what we're doing or what you're saying or whatever's going on. Um, let's see. Also, I realized how much goes through my mind that I wasn't aware of, like how much I think about when I should be focusing on this stuff, or how much my mind drifts or like I daydream. Because I've noticed that specifically when we do the meditations and you tell us to focus on one thing, but usually my mind like goes off to something else. But when we're meditating, I'm able to catch that, which is cool, so I can kind of shift around and not daydream as much. For the creativity part, I think it's pretty cool the free writes that we do after the meditation, because it we don't really have to be analytical or grammatical with it, so it's easier to just write as what we're thinking at the time. And especially after you come out of like a state of peace like that, your mind's kind of in a different sort, kind of like a drowsy, sleepy type of feel, so it's different to see what you're writing when you're in that kind of mood than when you're focusing so hard that your brain's like fried. So they've definitely affected my creativity in that I can kind of be myself more and I can think more freely, and when you're meditating it gives you a chance to remember things or think about things that you haven't had the time to think about before, and they kind of like come back to you. The use of meditation in this class definitely contributed to my learning, like I said before, with the listening skills and my writing, just because of the creativity from it. Um, and then I really don't think it's changed my mind about writing. Maybe slightly, because it's when you're writing in a free write, it's something I've never done before. So it's kind of fun to be able to not have to worry about all the grammar and the everything else that you have to do when you're writing like research papers or you're writing school papers. So doing that in terms with the meditation is definitely different. And I would say that it has changed my mind about writing a little bit, but not. But I don't think it's really changed my mind about writing for anything else that I can think of, at least. I'm not gonna lie, I'm not sure what contemplative meditative writing is 100%, but um, I would say that contemplative writing. It's more like you have to think about it, you have to analyze it, you kind of have to organize your like thoughts and your words and make it just make it like flow. And whereas the meditative writing is definitely more like freestyle, and it's kind of what you've been thinking about at the time and all of that. So it's a lot better. So I mean, it's contributed to personal academic success, whereas I'm able to write better, more creatively than I thought that I ever was able to write. So it's different to see like what kind of writer you are when you're doing that sort of stuff. Meditative exercises I can use in other ways of life just to focus and just give yourself a break when you need it. So instead of taking a nap, meditating works so that I can clear my mind and not think about anything for a minute, but I'm still fully awake, so I'm not slipping into that like sleep. So that way it focuses, it helps me prepare for the rest of the day rather than just wanting to go back to bed. So I mean, it can be used like before a big test, if I'm stressed out at all. The community in this class it's definitely different from other classes that we have. I kind of like the way the class works, whereas it's more of a relaxed feel and we're doing a lot of the work on the computer, which is nice. But, I mean, we get to do some group work, which has been good, but I feel like there's still an aspect of the community missing, whereas we don't talk to each other or ask a lot of questions to each other during class, where we're getting like a group discussion time. So, I mean, that's definitely something that I don't think we've really had too much of. But whereas everything else going on is we have had the chance to work in groups, which is good. So it's definitely a lot more. It's not as nerve-wracking as maybe high school was, where you feel like everyone was judging you or thinking about what you were saying. So there's none of that going on, which is always a good thing. So yeah.